wasn't like a enlightening, calm, I am one with everything. It was like, bitch, what the fuck? I'm scared. Hello there, fellow friends of Earth. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Kat, and I do stuff here on this platform. So subscribe for that. I wanted to preface this video by saying that there is nothing wrong with the marijuanas. I think it's a beautiful plant. It helps people. It is scientifically proven that it's really resourceful. It's a good thing. But for some people, using it recreationally is no bueno. It's not fun. It's not a good time. For other people, it's great. I'm just talking on behalf of the people in the population that unfortunately it doesn't mix well with. So I had wanted to try the weed since I was like 15 when I first started my spiritual, groovy, hippy dippy shit. I was like, well, that's a part of it, and like I want to be chill and like trip out, bro. I was kind of sheltered as a child. My parents like let me go out and do things, but whenever I did, it was with either like straight edge people or people in the same boat as me. Like they had no idea how to get a hold of that stuff or do those things, but they probably wanted to try it just like I did. Then the summer after I graduated high school, the planets aligned in a way that I was able to try it for the first time, and that was an experience. I would love to do a story time about the first time I got high if you guys want to see that, because that was what she said. A couple months later, I went to a party and I tried it again, and I swear that must have been like oregano or something, because I felt nothing. I just really wanted a kid cuisine, and I went to Walmart and got a kid cuisine, I think a box of like flavor blasted goldfish, some cookies, and that's it though. I wasn't shifted higher than the ceiling, but it was something. And everyone at that party that had known me from high school or just like had seen me there, they thought I was a stoner. They thought I smoked regularly. People at school had always thought that about me, but it wasn't the case. I went a while after that just like not smoking because I didn't really have an opportunity to, but when I would like chat with people online, I'd be like, yeah, I dabble in weed. Then at the beginning of 2017, I bought some. My good pal helped me obtain the sacred product, and I became a regular at that. So I was smoking like every day, and that went on for a few months. So I started smoking on the regular, probably once a day, maybe twice if I wasn't working or whatever. And then I started dating my ex, and he was kind of in the same position that I was in beforehand. Like he had smoked a couple times, but like didn't really, you know. So we smoked together every once in a while, and like it was the puppy love beginning of our relationship, so we would be all lovey-dovey and be like, wow, the universe is so beautiful and whatever. Then we were at his sister's house, and that morning I had taken double the dose of my antidepressant that I had not taken in about 6 months because I'm stupid, and I forgot that I had taken that, and I was already feeling kind of weird. And then we get there, and I think I had like a little bit of alcohol, I can't really remember, and then I smoked out of a one-hitter, which I had done before and it was totally fine, but I think it was just the combination of all the things leading up that day, and then I did that, and instant regret. I felt like I was gonna puke, so I ran to the kitchen for some reason, and there was like a trash bag on the floor, so I was like, oh, I'll just puke in this, and I was like sitting on the floor, and when I feel like I'm gonna puke, I don't know about you guys, but like I can't, like I want everything away, it's hot, I feel gross, I'm like, yeah. So eventually we go upstairs, because he was living with her at the time, and we're like sitting in his little room, and he's also extremely high. Also, just want to clarify that I am super lightweight. I can have just a pinch of it and I can be gone, stoned, out of my mind. Like, I am a baby when it comes to any kind of substance, honestly. I have to take half of the smallest dose of my antidepressant because it hypes me up that bad. That is how sensitive I am to drugs. So we're upstairs. I keep going to the bathroom every once in a while because I think I'm gonna puke. Then he thinks he's gonna puke, so he's like, we'll just sit around the toilet. And I was like, no. So he's sitting on the toilet. I go back, and you know how it is when you feel high. Well, I don't know if you know, but I know. When you're really high, time is an illusion, which is kind of like, that's how it be. That it really do be like that. So it felt like it had been a while, so I was like, oh shit, I better go check on him. And I walk in the bathroom, and he's like lifting his head up off of the toilet, and he's like, looks, and I'm like, what the hell? And I look in the toilet, and there was blood, and instantly I was like, shit. So I'm like, tell me that came from your nose. And he was just like, and I'm like, tell me that came out of your nose. And he's like, yeah. And then he realizes that it like came from his nose, because what had happened was he passed out, got a nosebleed, and then woke up to that. So that, I don't even know how traumatizing that would be on his end, but I was confused and concerned. So then he pukes and feels better or whatever, and he's laying down in his little bed, and I'm laying next to him, and just everything is racing. It was a very intense panic attack, but it was also like I would have moments of like, it's all good. And he kept falling asleep, and I kept like trying to wake him up, like, dude, I need you, like, ground me. I don't know what's happening. I want to go to sleep, but I can't, and I'm terrified. But he kept falling asleep on me. So I'm laying there, and I'm just trying to fall asleep. I'm trying to calm down, because I kept thinking that I was having a heart attack, and like, if you have panic disorder, you know, when things are going down like that, you convince yourself that you're going to die. You convince yourself that like something horrible is happening, you need to get to the hospital, something's wrong, you self-diagnose on WebMD. You know how it is. So I was just laying there like looking up at the ceiling, traumatized, and I almost reached an ego death. Now if you know what an ego death is, you're probably like, bitch, on weed? Really? And if you don't know what an ego death is, you're probably like, what? So an ego death is basically when you disconnect your consciousness from your body. You don't understand what it is to be a human. You don't understand, like, all of your senses are gone. It's complicated. I could make a whole video about ego death because it's a pretty cool concept. But anyways, I was really close to that. I was laying there, and it was more of a scary kind of thing. It wasn't like a enlightening, calm, I am one with everything. It was like, bitch, what the fuck? I'm scared. So I was like, what what is going on? Who am I? Where am I? Who's that? And then it slowed, like, it felt slow, but it was probably like a few seconds. I was like, my name is Kat, and this is the dude I'm dating, and I'm in this house in this area of the world. So the day after that, I felt really gross and weird. I don't remember if I worked or not, but I felt awful. And then the day after that, I went to work. I was so dizzy and confused and disoriented, and I didn't know what was happening. So I was like, hey guys, I'm gonna get out of here. I'm gonna go to the ER. So I went to the emergency room, and they're just like, bitch, nothing's wrong with you. And I was like, cool. After months and months of feeling that and not understanding what was happening, I find out that it is called dissociation, and I still suffer from that because of that experience. Also, during that experience, I think it brought up a bunch of PTSD trauma that I had been through. I was thinking about weird things, and I think it was just a weird PTSD trigger along with a bad high experience, and bam, I've been dissociating for almost 2 years now. So that's where it gets you. So I had kind of stopped smoking at that point because I realized it was probably the weed that did that to me. My ex was living with me at my parents' house at that time, and for a few months we kind of just didn't partake in anything. And then we ended up getting an apartment, and his brothers would come over and they would all smoke together, and I would just like pass. But like I knew in the back of my mind, like, I want to face that fear. I want to like if my subconscious is trying to show me something in a bad high experience, like I probably should face that and just see it. So eventually one day they were all smoking and I decided to partake. And it was kind of scary at first, like kind of like the first experience. Then I think me and my ex went for a walk down the road from our apartment, and I started feeling better, and I was like, you know what, this is okay. And I started getting giggly and having fun like I used to when I was high. I was like, this is okay. So I started smoking regularly again, but it would kind of just, I would get that clarifying feeling after I came down from the high and be like, wow, like I'm gonna stop dissociating soon. But then it would eventually wear off and I would be back to not feeling real again. I kept trying, I kept smoking, thinking like I would have this realization and I would snap out of it, but nothing ever clicked. I didn't have that like moment of clarity. Meanwhile, the relationship was kind of getting bad and he was smoking every day, every single day, sometimes like 4 times a day, heavily relying on it, and I was just kind of like, that's concerning, and it concerned me, but I was kind of like, oh well, some people can do that, that's okay. But at that point for him, it wasn't just ooh, I enjoy doing this, I'm gonna do this. It was kind of an escape, and my heart breaks thinking about that, because nobody should have to live like that. If getting high makes you happy, like, do that. That's absolutely fine. That's normal. That's okay. You're validated. But if you're doing it because nothing else can do that for you, then that's when you should probably start taking a look at the bigger picture. So I'm still dissociating, unfortunately. I'm trying to work through that with EMDR therapy, getting through my trauma and shit like that. Hoping that'll fix me up real quick here soon. I still smoke here and there sometimes with friends and whatever, but for me personally, most of the time it's like panic attacks, or at least like a dull anxiety the whole time, and it's just not fun. There's just like a small percentage of the time where I can smoke and feel good and have fun with friends, or like giggle and be by myself and like meditate and stuff. The main reason I would do it a lot was for spiritual reasons. It wasn't like recreational for me, honestly. It was a spiritual thing. Please remember that weed is addictive just like any other substance. I've known people who get basically emotional withdrawals when they haven't smoked in a while, and they get angry and mean. Also, please do not smoke if you were a child. I waited until I was 18 and it still slaughtered several of my brain cells. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you would like to see the story time of the first time I got high, give this video a thumbs up, because I would love to share that with you. I love and appreciate you all so much. Please subscribe if you enjoy my face and the things I say. You guys fucking rock, yo, and I will see you in my next video.